Hey guys, Lima here. I have some exciting news. Today I found a California gold token in this bowl of junk. So, we're gonna send it into NGC and we're gonna see if it's real and what it comes back as. And that's what you're about to see. Alright, so there's the obverse. It's got 11 stars. And there's the reverse. $1/4, and then there's a star below. And so I think this is a BG 211 in the catalog, so we'll see how it comes back. All right, so it's a couple weeks later, and now we can take a look at that coin back from grading. So the first thing you'll notice is that it is in a holder, which means it came back genuine, which is really, really awesome. So let's just take an up-close look at this coin, and then before I reveal the grade, we can talk a little bit about what I was hoping for. So this is a round variety. It's not octagonal or anything, and it does have a denomination, as you can see, the $1/4 right there. So this is technically a coin. These California gold tokens, if they don't have a denomination, they're technically tokens, and if they do have a denomination, they are technically coins. So there are 11 stars on the obverse, and you can see right around 3 o'clock there, there's a little bit of a die break going from the rim to the star. This has a nice classic Liberty obverse, very common with the early gold coins. This variety has a star in the field below the denomination. There are some varieties of this where it'll say CAL for California. But as you can see, the detail is pretty good on this. I was hoping that it would come back maybe AU58 or around MS62, somewhere around there, if it didn't get a details grade. So if it was going to come back a details grade, I was going to guess that it was probably either going to be cleaned or bent. And you can see the bend in this coin like ever so slightly. It's basically impossible to see, but there is a very, very slight bend. Same back here, because you can see a little bit of dirt in the devices, but then everywhere else is kind of bright and shiny, so it looks like it might have been cleaned. And then I'm not sure if you're going to be able to tell, but you can see the bend here right around the 1 and the 1/4. The way that the light catches right there, you may be able to see that there is a very, very, very slight bend. It's right about at 9 o'clock. 9 to 10 o'clock, that small bend. And then on the obverse, you can see that bend right around 7 o'clock. So if this was gonna come back a details grade, I would have guessed it would have been bent. So in conclusion, I sent it in. I did think it was gonna come back real, and I was correct about that. So let's see what it came back. Unk details bent. So my prediction was almost right. I did notice the bend beforehand. I knew that it might have come back bent, but I do think it's a little bit silly because this coin is practically as flat as you can get. Plus these California gold tokens are so thin, and it's like kind of, I'd imagine it'd be very hard for it to live this long and not get a little bent, considering how thin and small they are. So I've done a lot of research and I found a lot of other California gold tokens out there. NGC really doesn't like giving these straight grades. I've seen so many of these with bent. I've seen so many of these with like obverse damage where there'll be the tiniest ding. Like, that's another thing I forgot to mention. I thought that might have been a problem with this coin. That rim ding right around 10 o'clock could have probably been large enough for this to be graded Unk details obverse damage, because I've seen other California gold tokens with equally sized dings and they called it damage, which I think is really stupid because that ding is the tiniest ding ever. But I guess technically in relation to the size of the coin, it's pretty big. So I guess it is a little bit of a bummer that it came back a details grade, but I am happy that it came back Unk details, because that's, you know, the highest that you can get if you get a details grade. These are pretty popular among collectors because they are a real piece of California and US history. These were made with gold straight from the gold rush, so that's really cool. And I think it's kind of crazy that I just found this in a bowl of world coins, just mixed in. Somebody obviously didn't know what they had. Here's a real neat piece of US history. These are some World War II rationing tokens. So during World War II, the Office of Price Administration gave out rationing tickets that people would use at retailers to get dairy, produce, meat, stuff like that. And these OPA, or Office of Price Administration tokens, would be given as change when you used one of those rationing tickets. The red tokens were given out when you bought meats or fats, and then the blue ones were given out when you bought some processed foods. And then you can see these little numbers, TT, UX, UY. There are a couple of these OPA tokens that are more rare, and they have different combinations of those letters. None of these ones are really rare though, but they are still really cool. A piece of US history. As some of you may know, my job at the coin shop is to sort wheat cents. So every once in a while I find a wheat cent that's a little weird. So I found a couple of errors, maybe possibly errors here. Let's just go through and take a look at them. I'm not sure what type of error this is, but I do have a couple of these where the rim is kind of not right. I don't know how else to explain it. And the whole coin itself is kind of warped and bent in a weird way. I have a couple of these. Then here are 3 clipped planchets. If I had to bet, this one isn't real. There's no Blakesley effect on either side of these 2 clips, which I feel like would probably be likely. In addition to that, the In God We Trust is cut off really cleanly, and if that was a genuine clip, those would probably be kind of smudged towards the clip, so I doubt that that one is real. This one, I believe, is more likely to be real. It's not an amazing clip or anything, but you may notice that directly opposite of the clip, the rim is slightly weak, and so that's the Blakesley effect. In addition to that, where you see E pluribus unum, the E plur right there is kind of smudged and very weak, which is consistent with what a real clipped planchet would be. And then this one I'm really stumped because you can clearly see the Blakesley effect. Opposite of that clip there, the rim is very weak. And you can tell that the rim is very weak on this side too, opposite of that clip. But this clip is very strange looking to me because on either side of it, there's these weird rim inconsistencies. I'm not sure exactly what those are. But if this is a genuine clip, this would be a straight edge clip. So this would be where the edge of the sheet of metal was. Versus a clip like this, where this would come from where the actual punch outs overlap. So you could see right here, that's pretty much perfect. And then there's actually a third type of clipped planchet where it's at the very end of the sheet of metal, and the clip would be very jagged. I also picked this up recently, a 1983 D off-center strike, kind of cool. I actually got this one from a family friend. And then finally from the coin shop, we have some world silver coins. We have a nice 1905 D German 1/2 mark from the German Empire, with that very nice imperial eagle. Then there's this very nice South Africa 3 pence from 1959, which is in super, super nice condition, with Queen Elizabeth II. And then a very nice Newfoundland 50 cents from 1918. And this is actually a lot more rare than I thought it was. This has a very low mintage, only like 200, like between 200 and 300,000, so that's pretty cool. The best of all, the best of the world silver is definitely this Mexican 8 reals from 1877. Unfortunately, I believe that this side of the coin is cleaned. It might have been in an album or something, but you can see right up there a lot of hairlines, which is unfortunate. Although this side of the coin is very original. It has some very nice toning. But overall, I think that this is a very cool coin. It's pretty original. And even though this side of the coin is cleaned, this side is very nice. With that nice toning, nice original surface. And overall, it's very nice. It's just a nice thick silver coin. And something I actually forgot to mention, I got this nice 1863 Our Army Civil War token. Kind of similar story to the California Gold token. Civil War tokens were minted because of coin shortage. And so a lot of private companies minted these hard times tokens, they're sometimes known as. And also a lot of the times they featured sort of propaganda on the back of them. One of the more common and famous Civil War tokens actually says on the back, "Millions for defense, not 1 cent for tribute," which is obviously a very political statement at the time. So these are pretty cool too. This is my only Civil War token at the moment, but I'd like to have more in the future. They're pretty cool. Maybe some mint state ones, graded. You know what's great about being out of school for the summer? I actually have time to film videos now. So I'm excited about that. Thank you all for the continuous support, and of course, hope you guys enjoy it, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.